going on? Rainy day. Currently making my way to run a few errands, but this has been on my mind all day recently because, you know, I've been thinking about what made me the way I am. What made me, you know, confident, not so insecure. What really was the changing factor for me? Because I've changed a lot since I started going to the gym, and I've became a man compared to who I used to be. And I've realized that the times in my life when I changed the most, when I became a better man, was the hardest times of my life. It was when I was going through rough patches with my parents. It's when I was going through breakups, when I was getting bullied. And I've realized that in order to become better, in order to improve and become more of a man, you have to embrace the hard things in life. You gotta embrace going through heartbreak. You have to go through the hard times in life, because if you don't, you will never evolve, right? And like, fingers crossed, I think I'm about to go through a really hard time. I think I might be dealing with something soon that's gonna make me become better, but it's gonna fucking suck. It's gonna suck for a while, and I don't know what's gonna happen yet. But the one thing I do know is that regardless of the outcome of this situation, I'm gonna continue to push myself to become better. I'm gonna push myself to evolve into even more of the man that I'm supposed to be, right? And I think about it, everyone I know in my life that is genuinely stoic, confident, disciplined, they've dealt with some really hard times in their life. Incredibly hard times. Meanwhile, the people I know who, you know, kind of, they aren't built like that. They aren't built like that. They're, you know, insecure. They crumble when the hard times come. They haven't dealt with anything rough in their life, any hard times. Like David Goggins, for example. That man went through hell. He went through hell. And look at him now. He's the hardest motherfucker there is. Like, you can't deny that. He's known for that. And, you know, those times I went through that really sucked. I was in dark places. I'm not gonna lie. I was in really dark places. Like, I remember my first breakup. I was going to the gym like 3 times a day. I'm not even kidding. I'd go to school, go to the gym. I'd go to school on my lunch break, go do cardio. After school, go to the gym, go to work, go to the gym again. And I did that every day for like 4 months. That's like the most memorable time in my life where I evolved. And I just focused on myself. I isolated. And like, those times, they suck. They are horrible. The hard times, whatever it is you deal with, I'm not going to get into the other hard times because, you know, that's like also family matters, and, you know, I know my family wouldn't appreciate me talking about those things, but, bro, like, they fucking suck in the moment. Everyone has something, okay? 99% of people have something really hard they got to deal with, and they go through it. And they, like, some people wish it never happened. At the moment, I wished that I wasn't going through what I was going through. But looking back, like, I'm grateful I went through it, because I wouldn't be who I am today. Like, going through hard times is what makes you a better man. What makes you a stronger, more disciplined, stoic man, right? So I'm just genuinely grateful I went through those times. And honestly, now, I embrace it, right? Obviously, like I said, I might be going through something soon. Hopefully not. I'm not going to get into details about this scenario, but I'm hoping I don't have to go through this. But if I do, I'm going to embrace it. because I know what's on the other side. I know it's a better version of myself. So instead of hiding from the hard conversations, instead of hiding from your problems in life, embrace them head on. If you do that, I promise you, things will get better. You will become better. Okay? I know it's easier said than done to embrace these hard conversations or these hard scenarios. And I speak from experience, right? I know it's hard. But even just that conversation, because for most people it's a conversation that they're avoiding, once they embrace that conversation, holy fucking shit. Even right after, you can sense the edge. You get this drive. Most times you get this drive that you've never felt before, especially if you've avoided it for a long time, or depending on the scenario, it may be something you felt before and you recognize it, and it's like blood in the water. And if it's your first time, it's blood in the water. Like, you're hungry to improve. Whether it's you have someone to prove wrong, whether it's you have someone to prove right, or someone you got to become better for, whatever the scenario is, just embrace it head on. Because those hard times, those difficult conversations, those difficult situations, they're gonna make you better. They're gonna make you one step closer into the man that you are meant to be. Do you want to be the same way you are right now? Insecure? Scared to confront your problems? I know for sure as fuck I never wanted to be that way. I'm not that guy anymore. Guess what? Doesn't mean I don't still get that. Feels like my stomach drops, or it feels like my heart drops from my chest when I have to go through those moments. No matter what, you're gonna feel that. But I can face it head on. And yeah, it's not fun, but fuck, I'm a whole lot less scared than I used to be. I'm a whole lot more stoic than I used to be, more disciplined. I'm better than I used to be. And you know what? I wouldn't look the way I do now if I didn't go through those times. I'd probably still be 220 pounds of fucking fat. I was probably 30% body fat or some shit like that. Now I'm 200, I'm 205. I think I'm a little bit less now. I don't know what I'm at. But I'm fucking 13-12% body fat. I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through those times. And you need to understand that. Whenever you are faced with a hard time, you need to understand that this is gonna propel you forward. I know I've said this already, but it's gonna propel you forward. It's good. Everything in life happens for a reason, okay? Every single thing in life happens for a reason, right? You are given these hard conversations, these difficult situations to overcome them. Because you know why? You're gonna have to overcome harder situations in the future. God has a plan for everyone. Okay, God is making these hard times happen for a reason. So you're prepared for the situations in the future, for the harder ones, right? And if you aren't prepared for the harder situations, if you can't handle the situations now, you will never be able to handle the harder situations in the future. When you're 40 years old and it's with your kids or your wife or whatever it could be, whatever situation you're facing, you lose your job or something, if you can't handle the small problems you have now that feel like the biggest in the world, you'll never handle the ones that you're gonna have in the future. And that's what you gotta also remember too, whenever you're faced with these hard times, that this is gonna make me better, and that this is gonna make me able to handle more in the future. Because as a man, if you can't handle problems, you cannot handle your own problems or your family's problems and be calm, collected, be stoic about it, then you're not a man. You're not. So next time you're faced with a hard problem, tell yourself that this is gonna make me a better man for down the line for the future, and this is also gonna prepare me for the harder problems in the future. And then face that shit head on and watch how you change in 6 months after you handle that problem. Watch how you change in 3 months after you handle that problem. I promise you, you will be a better man in some way, whether it's physique, mental, both, financial. You will be better. So just give your balls a tug, be a man, and handle your shit.